I don't care how dark it look for you. I don't care what they done said to you. I don't care what the verdict is. I don't care what the haters say. Prayer changed things. I'm talking to a girl that I grew up on a block, man, that it didn't breed success. A lot of people on our block ain't here no more, man. I grew up in a place, man, that was you had to be something else you come up out of there. Prayer changes things.
It's possible you've got some talents, some ideas in you, your ability to do some stuff that you haven't even discovered yet. And I'm suggesting that it's necessary that you get outside of your comfort zone. It's necessary that you develop some new relationships where you can learn from people. It's necessary that you do reading, that you do research. It's necessary, if you're already involved in some business, that you don't be satisfied with where you are. If you want to make it today, it's necessary for you to constantly look at ways of getting better. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, and it's necessary for you to challenge yourself to go after it and get better and leverage the relationships that can help you get to where you want to go, but it's you. The major key to your reaching your dream, your living up to your greatness, your making your contribution is you. If the economy is good, fantastic. If the banks are loaning money, that's great. If people are positive, that's great. You don't have any opposition, that's great. But the major key to your making things happen in your life is you.
You have to take chances in life. If you don't take chances in life, you'll never have the life God has for you. Life is about risk. If you play it safe, you won't have much of a life. Life is risk. It takes courage to pursue your dream. I just did it. It cost me everything, but eventually, God is very good, man, when he sees you take a leap of faith. He supplies you everything you need. Now, it's gonna cost you something. But most people are not willing to pay what it costs to go after your dream, because you're gonna have to hurt a little bit. And most people don't like being uncomfortable. If you don't want to be uncomfortable, please do not pursue success, because success is a very uncomfortable feeling. And I just learned to be comfortable being uncomfortable. If you can get that in your head, this too shall pass. Every moment of everything you've ever gone through, God got you through it. You didn't even realize it. He just got you through it. You can't name one thing he didn't pull you through. Well, I lost my mother. I'm still grieving over that. I lost my mama 21 years ago. I still grieve over it, but I'm here. You know, I got through it. You're gonna get through it. But you gotta take chance in life, man. Can't play it safe, y'all. You gotta jump, you gotta go for it.
We're not trying to find happiness through the things that we can get, but we actually understand that true happiness is sharing what we have within ourselves.
I think what makes a great MC is the same thing that makes a great father, makes a great husband, makes a great politician, makes a great human being. And it is your commitment to your personal evolution, your personal growth for the purpose of assisting others.
And being still is where really great insights come from. And this is also where happiness comes from. You know, it's hard to be happy and appreciate and feel gratitude when you're just moving all the time.
Getting things is not going to make you happy. That's good news in a tough economy. It's a good reminder. You know, it doesn't matter what you get. Doesn't matter whether it be money or opportunity. All those things might excite you for the moment. You know, even a relationship, as magnificent it may be exciting for a while. But if you don't keep growing, that relationship isn't going to stay exciting. So the secret to real happiness is progress. Progress equals happiness. And if we can make progress on a regular basis, we feel alive. And that's why at the beginning of the year, we get this thing like, okay, I can have this fresh start. I can really do what my soul desires. I could expand. I could grow. I could improve. I could change. Or maybe better than change, I could progress. See, think about that. Progress is an aliveness to it, doesn't it? You don't have to work at changing. People say all the time now, well, I'm working on changing. Don't worry about it. You don't have to work on changing. Change is automatic. Your body's going to change whether you want it or not as the years go by. And no matter how hard you work, there's going to be some changes going on there. The economy is going to change no matter what you want it to do. The weather is going to change. Relationships are going to change. Everything in life is always changing. We don't have to work on change. Change is automatic, but progress is not.
I think most people, your average person who doesn't work on themselves, who's not reading, who doesn't care about any of this, the time between stimulus and response is like nothing. I think it's about a sort of cultivating an awareness and a process of continual reflection on the data that your life is creating all the time. And the earlier you start working on it, the sooner you're going to start to see results, but the more those results are going to compound over time. Every time I've thought about it, every time I've studied it, every time I've tried to reflect on how, in retrospect, I could have done that better, I've accumulated slightly more knowledge, more appreciation, more sense of that, the truth of that, and I've gotten better and better at it. You're not trying to get to perfection right now. You're just trying to get a little bit better than you were yesterday or an hour ago.
Dream will make you bold. That a lot of times, the dream we start out with, the dream that we think we see in one stage of our life, will show up later in our life in a different dimension, and it will be such a different dimension that we will not even recognize the dream as the original dream. And one thing I've noticed about having a dream is that a dream makes you different. People accept what is the same, but they eventually respect what is different. People eventually come around and respect what stands out. But what happens to most of us is that the moment we start to realize the differences between us and other people, we downplay our distinctives in order to fit in and conform with culture. Because a lot of times what I've found is that God will begin to show you things about yourself, about your life, about your calling, about your direction, about what He's put inside of you, about the gifts He's given you. But someone will actually beat the distinctive out of you if you don't know clearly enough that I have a calling from God who is greater than people, and if He is for me, who can be against me? Touch somebody next to you and say, I'm gonna wear my coat. Even if people criticize me for it, I'm not ashamed to walk in the love and the favor of God. Oh, we need some Christians who don't check their coat at the door of culture, who are unashamed to be optimistic about the future because you know God is already there. If He is the author and the finisher of your faith, you see what I'm saying? A dream will make you different. And it takes courage to be different. It takes courage to speak different. If you get a hold of a dream, or better said, if a dream gets hold of you from the throne of God, it'll make you walk different, talk different, think different, eat different, drink different, party different, text different. It'll make you different. Dream will make you different. And I'm glad that Joseph had the courage to be different. And I wonder, do we have the courage to be different? See, I don't just dream of making it through the day. I don't just dream of surviving my life. When you get a dream, it'll make you different. You'll start sacrificing, and people will think you're crazy because of what you sacrifice. Even if you go on a diet because you have a dream to lose 20 pounds, the first thing that everybody around you is going to say is, you're not fun anymore. Don't let the fact that they don't have the discipline to eat something different cause you to give up on a goal that you set that's real for your life. And if it's true with the diet, it's much more true with destiny. I wonder, have you been dumbing down yourself because to be different is too painful? And if you're not careful, you will be conformed to the patterns of this world rather than being transformed by the renewing of your mind. Christians are supposed to see different, think different, understand different. It's a different perspective. I always thought that Joseph's life was a story about perseverance. You know, Joseph had a dream when he was young, and then he had to go through a lot of things, but you know, don't give up. because eventually you will achieve your dream. Yet that is a cultural understanding of dreams, not a Christian understanding of dreams, not a scriptural understanding of dreams. And we have a really bad habit of taking a concept like a dream and then overlaying our own preferences and our own prejudices on that concept. And so we make it what it's not, and we miss what it is. Even Joseph's inability to discern the nature of the dream and who was capable of handling it played a part in leading him to the place where he could do the dream that God put in his heart. Because God's dream for my life will involve my decisions, even if my decisions are immature. God will use some of the desires in your heart that aren't good desires at first. But Psalm 37:4 says, if you delight yourself in the Lord, he will give you the desires of your heart, and he will take the desires that you had and purify them, and he will rinse them, and he will separate the wheat from the chaff to bring you to an ultimate place of purpose. But when Joseph started sharing his dream with his brothers, it was all about him. But understand that even Joseph's decision to speak about his dream prematurely was part of what God used to motivate his brothers to push him in the pit. At the same time they did that, an Ishmaelite caravan was setting out to bring whoever they would pick up along the way back to the place of slavery. Now, it was a place of slavery at that point, but it would ultimately become a place of deliverance. I'm going to teach the Bible today. Because when Joseph was picked up and put in Potiphar's house, he served so well in Potiphar's house that everything Potiphar put under him prospered. And so when Potiphar saw how Joseph served, he promoted him to a position of influence. But he wouldn't have been in Potiphar's house to begin with if he hadn't been pushed in a pit. And he wouldn't have been pushed in a pit if he didn't wear a coat. And so when you leave your coat in the closet and downplay your dream to fit in with people who don't like you because you're different, you can't end up in the position you need to be in. I'm preaching to somebody who's different. The more like Christ you become, the more different from culture you will be. And it's all right to be weird. And it's all right to have hope. And it's all right to have vision. And it's all right to know who you are. And all of this happened because Joseph had a dream.